In lesson 4.3, we're going to begin working on portioning rectangles. You will need your whiteboard marker, and your math journal. If you still do not have your multiplication facts mastered, you will want a multiplication chart as well. Let's go ahead and start on our whiteboard. I'll do an example for number 1. You're going to take the expanded form and write it in standard form. So you need a 4 in the 10,000s, 2 in the thousands, and when you see these brackets, it just means to take 8 times 10, or there's 80. Nothing in the hundreds. And then this number just means 7 times 1, or 7 in the ones place. Would you go ahead and write number 2 and number 3 from expanded form into standard notation? Go ahead and pause your video. For number 2, you have 6 in the 10,000s, nothing in the thousands, 5 in the hundreds, 1s in the 10s, and 8s in the ones place. And number 3, 9 in the 10,000s, nothing in the thousands, nothing in the hundreds, 7 in the 10s, or 70, and 0, 90,000, 70. Go ahead and erase your whiteboard, and I want you to try the next 3. Notice they are again written in expanded form. You're going to write them in standard form. So go ahead and pause your video and write down each of these numbers 1, 2, and 3. Pause your video now. Number 1, 5 in the millions, nothing in the 100,000s, 1, nothing in the thousands place, 800, 4, 5 million, 10,000, 804. Number 2, you have 8 in the millions, nothing in the 100,000s, nothing in the 10,000s, nothing in the thousands, 4 in the hundreds, 7 in the 10s, 9 in the ones, 8,479. And lastly, number 3, 3 in the millions, 9 in the 100,000s, nothing in the 10,000s, 5 in the thousands, 3 in the hundreds, nothing in the 10s, 8 in the ones, 3,905,308. Now, we're going to continue to use our whiteboard, so don't put that away yet, but you're going to move to your journal for just a moment, and you're going to move to page 111. At the top, it says floor tiling. Math message. Maya wants to lay tile on a floor that is 8 feet wide by 24 feet long. The tiles she wants to use are 1 square foot each. How many tiles will Maya need? So I'm going to go ahead and count 24. So you're going to do this with me on page 111. Go ahead and count 1, 2, 3. Carefully count 24. They're pretty small. And then 8 feet wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and enclose this. Now, I would go ahead, if I wanted to, and count. That's a lot of counting. So what we're doing is we're building a skill that will later help us with multi-digit multiplication. Rather than counting all of them, if I went to 20, I just remove 4 off the end, that one would be easy for me to do. This would be 20 by 8. That would be really easy. And then I just have 4 and 8 here. If I take this many tiles times this many, 20 times 8 is just an extended fact, which we worked on in lesson 4.1. That would be 160. Then I could just take this area is length times width. And if I add those two together, I would get 192 tiles. Now we will learn how to multiply two numbers like 24 times 8, but right now we're going to start with what's called partitioning rectangles. Now at the bottom it says explain how you figured out how many tiles Maya needs. Well, if you go back, remember I broke it down, I divided it into two parts. And those two parts were 20 times 8, which equaled 160. And the 4 that were left over times the same width of 8. 4 times 2 is 8 is 32. And then I just added those two together to get 192. So today, again, you may know how to multiply multi-digit numbers, and we will get to that later on. Now I need you back on your whiteboard. I have a problem here that says Jacob rode his bike 4 miles a day for 39 days. How many miles did he ride in all? So what I'm going to do is multiply. I could take 39 plus 39 plus 39 for the 4 days, but guess what? Multiplication is a much more efficient way than repeated addition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw a box. So on your whiteboard, would you draw a box? I'm going to write the number 4 for 4 miles. Now I'm going to divide this in half. And I'm going to take the number 39 and take the value of the 3, which is 30, and then plus the value of the ones place, which is 9. Now all I have to do is do my basic multiplication fact or extended fact. This is what we worked on earlier. That's why 4 times 3 is 12, and then add your 1 0 behind it. Then you're going to go here and over here. 4 times 9 is 36. Then over on the side of the whiteboard, all you're going to do is go ahead and add those two. So go ahead and add 120 plus 36 on your whiteboard. The answer is 156 miles. So this is just breaking it down and multiplying the value of each digit using extended multiplication facts. Go ahead and erase this. This time it doesn't give it to us as a word problem. Instead, it just gives us 9 times 51. So we'll take that single digit and put it over on the side. Go ahead and divide it in half. And I want you to think of 51 as the value of the 5, which is 50, plus the value of the ones place. What we're doing is we're breaking it up so it makes it easy to multiply. 9 times 5 is 45 with 1 0 behind it. Then we take 9 times 1 is 9. All we have to do now is add those two together. This one you might just be able to do right in your head. 450 plus 9, 459. So that's what we're going to go ahead and practice in your math journal. So you can go ahead and turn to page 112 if you've closed it up. And we're going to continue practice partitioning rectangles. So on page 112, you'll see an example here of partitioned rectangles to represent the problem. We're then going to write an equation to show how we added each part of the rectangle to get the product. So we'll start with number 1. On journal page 112, you're going to take 5 and put that on the side. Then take 48, divide this in half. The value of the 4 is 40, plus the value of the ones place, which is 8. And now we're going to multiply. We're going to take 40 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20, and then add the 0. And then 8 times 5 is 40. We then add those two numbers up in each box to get the product or the answer when we multiply, which is 240. Let's continue with number 2. Number 2, we're going to take 9 times 63. Remember, when we see an asterisk, it means to multiply. So go ahead and draw on your math page 112. You'll go ahead and put the 9 on the side. Divide that rectangle in half. The value of the 6 is 60, plus the value of the ones place is 3. And now we'll go ahead and we will multiply. 6 times 9 is 54 with 1 0 behind it. And then we'll take 9 times 3, put that in this rectangle. 9 times 3 is 27. Over on the side, you'll add together those two squares, or those two rectangles. 540 plus 27. You should get 567. Next, number 3, 7 times 37. You're going to start by drawing a rectangle. Put 7 on the side. The value of the 3 is 30, plus the value of the ones place, which is 7. Now let's go ahead and multiply. 3 times 7 is 21 with 1 0 behind it. Now we'll take the 7 times the 7, which is 49. Go ahead over on the side and add together those two numbers. When you add those two numbers up, you get 259. That is the product when you multiply 7 times 37. In question number 4, we have Kadir, who solved 75 times 8 like this. Ariadne solved 25 times 8 like this. What is similar about their solution strategies? Solution is the answer. And what is different? Well, I noticed that they both, so if I write similar, I noticed that they both partitioned their problem. So that's something that is similar. They partitioned it off. I noticed that Ariadne broke it down into smaller parts. Ariadne broke hers into smaller parts. Did they get the same answer? Absolutely, but went about it a little bit different. So for today, you're going to go ahead and finish lesson 4.3. You'll be practicing some of this on iExcel as well.